These are 3 true stories sent in by people who experienced something horrifying while in school. From a night shift gone wrong, to a classroom that hides something far darker than textbooks. These stories remind us that sometimes the scariest things don't wait until after dark. These are 3 disturbing true school horror stories. I attended a small high school in northern Pennsylvania. It wasn't anything special, just one of those buildings that felt too old to still be safe, but too cheap to replace. My senior year, I was part of the student tech crew, which meant I stayed after school to help set up for events and assemblies. Usually, we'd finish around 6 p.m., but one night in late February, I was the last one there. The custodian, Mr. Hanley, was supposed to lock up after I left. He was an older guy, quiet, polite, but everyone kind of joked that he lived in the school because he was always there. I had just finished coiling up the sound cables when I realized my phone charger was missing. I checked the classroom, the stage, even the gym, nothing. I figured I'd left it in the tech closet. When I opened the door, the smell hit me first, this thick, metallic scent. The fluorescent light inside flickered like crazy. And for some reason, all the cleaning supplies, mops, buckets, trash bags, were gone. At first, I thought maybe Hanley was restocking. But then I noticed something off. There was a small square cut in the wall behind the storage shelves, a piece of drywall that had clearly been removed and replaced multiple times. Curious, I pulled it away. Behind it was a hollow section of wall, barely wide enough to crawl through. Inside was a sleeping bag, a flashlight, empty cans of soup, and worst of all, dozens of Polaroid photos clipped to the insulation. They were pictures of classrooms, hallways, and students, all taken after dark. I heard the door creak behind me. When I turned, Mr. Hanley was standing there. No expression, no surprise, just holding a key ring, the same keys that had locked every door I'd just walked through. He said, almost whispering, "You shouldn't be in here." I froze. He stepped inside, shut the door, and said something I'll never forget. "She doesn't like it when people touch her things." I didn't stay to find out what that meant. I shoved past him, ran out, and didn't stop until I was in the parking lot. The next morning, I told the principal everything. When they checked the closet, the drywall piece and everything behind it were gone. And Mr. Hanley? He didn't show up for work. They said he'd retired suddenly. But sometimes, when I drive by the school at night, I swear I still see the janitor's closet light flicker through the window, even though that wing was sealed off years ago. This happened in my sophomore year of college in 2022. I was studying early education, which meant I had to complete observation hours in local schools. That semester, I was assigned to a small elementary school about 30 minutes off campus. It was a normal Thursday when I got there. Kids everywhere, teachers chatting, nothing unusual. But when I checked in, the secretary told me my supervising teacher was out sick, and there'd be a substitute in her place. I didn't think much of it. When I entered the classroom, the substitute was already there, mid-40s, plain-looking, wearing a faded sweater with the school logo. He smiled when he saw me. "Oh, you must be the student teacher. Good to have you here," he said. The kids seemed unusually quiet that day. No one was misbehaving or talking over him. He ran the lesson smoothly, a little too smoothly, almost rehearsed. Around noon, he told me he'd handle lunch duty alone and that I could take my break early. That struck me as odd, since the teacher always asked me to help. But I figured maybe the sub had his own rhythm. I went to the lounge, had lunch, and came back about 25 minutes later. The classroom was empty. No kids. No teacher. I checked the hallway, silent. Then, from down the corridor, I heard faint voices. Children's voices. I followed the sound past the art room and down a hallway that led to the basement storage area, a part of the school I'd never been in. The voices grew clearer, giggles, whispers, and then, one small voice said, "We're not supposed to be here." My stomach dropped. When I reached the end of the hall, I saw the sub standing beside an old wooden door, holding it open. He turned and looked right at me. Not angry, not startled, just smiling like he'd been waiting for me. Behind him was a staircase descending into pitch blackness. Before I could say anything, the vice principal's voice echoed from behind me. "What are you doing down here?" I turned. She was rushing toward me with 2 other teachers. When we looked back at the door, the substitute was gone. The kids were standing there, confused and scared. No one had seen him leave. The school called the district office to confirm the sub's name, but no one by that name had ever been registered with them. They checked the sign-in logs, too. There was no record of anyone signing in for that class that day. To this day, I still wonder where that door led, and why the children kept asking, "When do we go back down there?" I was in my final year of high school in 2018 when our school went into lockdown. At first, we thought it was a drill. We had them every month. But this one felt different. The intercom tone sounded twice, and our principal's voice came on, calm, but with this weird tightness to it. "Teachers, please secure your classrooms. This is not a drill." Everyone froze. Our teacher locked the door, shut off the lights, and told us to get behind the desks. We sat there in silence, trying not to breathe too loud. After about 10 minutes, someone knocked on the door. 3 slow knocks. Our teacher tensed up immediately. We weren't supposed to open the door for anyone, not even the police, unless the principal gave the all-clear through a specific code phrase. Then came a voice. It was a man's voice. Calm, friendly. "Hey, it's Mr. Klein. It's safe now. You can open up." Mr. Klein was our math teacher. But the voice didn't sound like him. Our teacher didn't move. She just shook her head and whispered, "That's not him." The man knocked again, then harder, then tried the handle. When it didn't open, he started whispering through the crack in the door. "Come on, you can't stay in there forever." We could hear his breathing. Slow, deliberate. Then he laughed. After what felt like forever, the sound faded. About 20 minutes later, police sirens surrounded the school. The principal's voice finally came back on, giving the real all clear. When we were escorted out, I saw something that still makes my skin crawl. Down the hallway, near the main office, one of the security doors had been propped open with a brick. And next to it, a substitute teacher's lanyard. They said later that someone had entered through a side door and triggered a silent alarm. Whoever it was, they never caught him. And the scariest part? No one named Mr. Klein worked at our school. There wasn't even a sub listed by that name in the district. If you've ever stayed late after school, you know how empty those hallways can feel. But sometimes, it's not just your imagination. Thank you for listening. And if you've had a strange experience at your school, let me know in the comments below. You never know, your story might be next.